One night humanity went to sleep and lost 10 days of its life. No warning, no disaster, no explosion, just a silent decision that erased time itself. In October of 1582 something impossible seemed to happen. Time disappeared, not metaphorically, not symbolically, but officially, written into law, recorded in documents, enforced by authority. People went to bed on October 4th and woke up on October 15th, 10 entire days removed from existence. Not delayed, not skipped forward naturally, but deleted as if they had never existed. For the people living through it, this was not a calendar adjustment, it was a shock, a rupture in reality, an experience that felt unnatural and deeply unsettling. Farmers believed the seasons had been altered, workers believed days of labor had been stolen from them, merchants argued that contracts and debts were now broken, families realized birthdays, anniversaries, and religious observances had vanished. Rumors spread quickly. Some believed the church had stolen time for its own power, others believed it was divine punishment, a correction imposed by God himself. Whispers of apocalypse and manipulation traveled through streets and villages. This event was real. The cause was the introduction of the Gregorian calendar, ordered by Pope Gregory XIII, meant to correct a growing mathematical problem in the old Julian calendar, a system that had governed time for more than 15 centuries. The Julian calendar miscalculated the length of the solar year by just 11 minutes, a mistake so small it was almost invisible, yet over centuries that error accumulated. By the 16th century the calendar had drifted nearly 10 days away from the actual position of the sun, meaning that important religious holidays no longer aligned with the seasons they were meant to follow. Easter was slowly moving away from spring, sacred days were losing their connection to nature, and for the church this was unacceptable. Time was no longer sacred. It was wrong. So scholars, astronomers, and religious authorities debated solutions, knowing that any correction would feel violent to the population, because fixing time meant admitting it had been wrong all along. The solution chosen was drastic but precise: remove 10 days from the calendar and realign it with the solar year. No gradual correction, no easing people into the change. Just erase 10 days. But while the decision was mathematical and theological, the consequences were emotional, psychological, and deeply human. Historical records describe confusion, anger, and fear, people gathering in public squares shouting that their lives had been shortened, demanding their stolen days back, believing something fundamental had been taken from them. Some believed they would die sooner because of it, others feared that souls would be lost, prayers unanswered, sins miscalculated. In religious communities the fear was even deeper. If holy days vanished, what did that mean for salvation, for rituals that depended on precise dates? Time was not just a measurement, it was meaning. The reaction was not uniform across Europe. Some regions accepted the change immediately under religious authority, others resisted openly. In places like Spain, Portugal, and parts of Italy the new calendar was enforced almost overnight, while in other regions people refused to recognize the new dates. This created a fractured reality where neighboring regions lived on different days at the same time. Letters arrived from the future, legal documents contradicted each other, contracts were disputed, court cases collapsed because dates no longer aligned. History itself became unreliable. Imagine living in a world where your age suddenly changed, where official records insisted you were 10 days older than you felt, where time itself could not be trusted. The most unsettling part is that nothing physical changed. The sun rose and set exactly as it always had, seasons followed their natural course, crops grew and weather patterns remained the same. Nature did not acknowledge the change. Only society did, which raised a disturbing realization. Time as humans experience it is not purely natural. It is agreement, it is authority, it is ink on paper. And in 1582 that agreement was rewritten. Not all countries accepted the Gregorian calendar at the same time, some resisted for decades, others for centuries. Britain and its colonies did not adopt it until 1752, when they were forced to remove 11 days from their calendar. By then stories of protests and confusion repeated themselves, people believed their lives were being shortened, demanding their days back. Once again time vanished. This meant that for long periods of history the world did not share the same time. Events recorded on the same date happened days apart depending on location. Historians today must constantly adjust dates when studying this era, translating time itself from one system to another. Even now, the impact of this decision echoes through history. Birthdays, deaths, and historical events require clarification. Old records exist in a time system that no longer exists. The idea that 10 days can vanish raises philosophical questions that still disturb people today. If time can be altered by decision, how much of it truly belongs to us? How much of our lives are measured by something artificial? And what does it mean that authority can change something as fundamental as time without our consent? In 1582, 10 days did not pass. They were erased. Children were born on dates that technically never existed. People died on days that history would later deny. Time did not stop. It was edited. This was not science fiction. It was bureaucracy. And everyone was forced to accept it. If this story made you question reality, leave a like and subscribe for more real historical mysteries.